Hello and welcome to another episode of Esports Connected. I'm your host, Megan Van Petten, and I'm happy to have David Bruno and Sean Dwyer here from Camden County College. Sean, did I get your last name right?
You did. You did. And listen, it's
Awesome.
an odd one. It gets messed up here, but you did perfect.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, we're here to have a really a good in-depth conversation to talk about Cougar Esports. And what you guys have, boy, I mean, just in the green room, you shared a little bit about what you've been up to. And I feel like I'm many years late to having this party. So thank you both for joining us and Happy New
Thank you for
Year.
having us.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. We're happy to share our experiences and really just build upon, the successes that we've seen here at Camden County College with Cougar Esports, with the audience here and really the other institutions that are out there exploring this as an opportunity.
It sure is. And I'm glad to have you guys on the show. Mostly we're going to talk about some best practices and how we can, collaborate with the nation on what's happening in community colleges and beyond. So where should we start?
Well, we can give a little quick history if that helps you, Megan. Again,
It would.
Sure.
So Cougar Esports at Camden County College really took shape prior to the pandemic. We had explored a variety of different options to bring back one of our locations at the college, the William G. Rohr Center in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which was originally designed as a business and technology center. Over the years, it had kind of lost its focus, and we looked at some of the emerging industries back in 2018, 2019, one of which was esports and the rise that had been occurring over the past several years. And so we were gearing up for a kind of a small launch of that component in our building. And then, of course, the pandemic hit, and it completely shifted what we wanted to do, why we wanted to do things. Certainly, one of the things that we saw during the pandemic was the rapid increase of esports activities, but more importantly, I think the acceptance of them. I think socially and within the community. So coming out, we decided to put a major focus on that, and that has become the center pillar of our location in Cherry Hill. So we decided to invest in an arena space that really is state of the art. And build academic programming specifically around this esports industry. So really, we were tasked with three things. Number one, have an arena that has the ability to impact the community in a positive way, so others can experience gaming opportunities. The second was build out an athletic component. Make sure that we had Cougar Esports athletic events, teams, and league activities all under this idea of Cougar Esports. But the third and probably the most important is build out academic programming. So we set on that path from day one, and that's with really in conjunction with one of our partners, Horizon AVL Esports Integration, in terms of building out an esports curriculum that really speaks to our two-year population that we have at the community college. And so our emphasis from day one specifically has been on esports production. What we saw during the pandemic was these esports activities, they existed in a certain way prior to. Again, there was a lot of in-person activities. There was hopes of filling, spaces, arenas in the region. Philadelphia was building an esports arena specifically for the Fusion. But during the pandemic, we saw that it was more about the production. It was less about the in-person activity and more about what is being streamed, what is being consumed virtually. And it speaks a lot more to the content creation side of things. So that's where we emphasized our approach, our focus, and then we created the first two-year degree in esports production, really in the region, and it's been immediately accepted. And again, we're looking to build upon that as we go forward. So that's kind of where it started, and this entire process. With Sean Dwyer being our esports director, has led us on a great path for success from an intercollegiate standpoint. So, Sean, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
For sure. So, Dave, as you had mentioned, we have an athletic component to our esports program, and by that we mean that we draw a lot of parallels to what we do competitively to athletics, to traditional sports. We see that as critical The reality is the reason that sports have, been a business that that they're an institution that they are, is for a lot of positive reasons. So we take all those positives and evolve where we need to. But the bottom line is we draw direct parallels there. So we have, as you had mentioned, Dave, we are involved in with intercollegiate competition. So we are in 2 different leagues. We are in the NJCAA, and that is just for our junior colleges. We're also in NACE, which is both for 2 and 4-year colleges. And we have had, I think we've had about upwards of 100+ students and compete for us just in the first couple of years of launch, which is really, really exciting. Speaks to the level of interest, and we're already really at capacity, right? So like the sky's the limit in terms of interest level here. But everything that we do, again, is with that traditional sports parallel. So, the eligibility requirements. So they have to be full-time students. They have to be in person at the arena to compete. We'll probably dive into why that's important a little bit later on. They have to have GPA requirements, things of that nature. So all of these things, again, speak to how serious we take it, and speak to, because we took it that serious, why we're having success.
Wow, this is so interesting to me. And I personally attended community college myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a big advocate. Truly attending the community college has taught me probably the most important lesson, and that is to be a student for life. And it's because I wasn't so burdened with heavy debt. I had a lot of freedom. In my early years, my formative years, where I could try different classes and different programs at a really low risk situation. And but it sounds like you guys have put a lot of structure around this focus. And for me, I went there because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to spend the money that I saw my peers spending. And so tell me a little bit about the focus. Tell me a little bit about the program. Why be a Cougar?
Well, the notion, and you just, I think, said it yourself. It's providing an affordable access point for students in our region to explore their passion in gaming, but more importantly, to develop really transferable skills that really apply to a variety of different job sectors that are out there. The concern that we all have is, sending our children into the higher education sphere and potentially taking on a significant amount of debt. And that debt can add up very quickly if you're exploring these options at a 4-year institution. What we've decided here at Camden County College is let's provide the most professional, the most state-of-the-art, the most structured esports environment that we possibly can, so students that are interested in gaming in some way, shape, or form would consider us first as they explore this as an option. Our intention is to give them everything that they're looking for. If it's to participate in an intercollegiate league, we have that for them. If it's to explore the opportunities built through an esports production degree, we have that for them. If it's to be a casual gamer, to participate, but from let's say almost like an intramural perspective, we have that for them. And if they want to still be a criminal justice major, they can be. If they want to be a psychologist, they can be. The idea is making sure that we give them an affordable access point to this for them, so that they can make those decisions. And I think that speaks a lot to the degree articulation that we recently signed with Stockton University. Stockton brought forward a 4-year degree in esports event management, essentially. And we worked very closely from day one with them as we were getting our degree ready, so that we could map our degree entirely so that students can seamlessly transfer from Camden County College. All of their credits go directly into that Stockton program, so they continue from a 4-year perspective. So it really becomes all about vertical alignment. If a student needs to enter our path, for reasons of maybe family or money, whatever it may be, we have that option. They can then exit into a career upon graduation at some point, or now they can continue on and stay regionally here in Southern New Jersey and continue on to that 4-year degree at Stockton University. So it really is about creating options and making sure that they're really ready for the jobs of tomorrow that the esports industry really supports. So again, as Sean said, sky's the limit with this, but what we wanted to make sure is that these students were prepared academically and experience everything that they need to from a gaming perspective so that they continue into that track potentially, or they can pivot into a career that they'll stay in for the rest of their lives.
And really, I'm sorry, Meg, if I could, I just wanted to hop in really fast and just give kudos both to Dave and the executive team here at the college, because they saw this vision, right? The investment, both of just time, resources to make this become a reality, just completely beats this kind of stereotype, the stigma of, a junior college, like suddenly, if you're going to junior college, maybe it's not being done the right way, right? So, I mean, absolutely, like we're doing it the right way. The resources are there. And again, just kudos to everyone who put in that kind of the time and resources.
And when we considered this, there really was a void here in the region. So there really was nobody taking leadership of the esports activities. Again, I think Stockton is probably our closest, I guess, comparison point. They have a fantastic esports, program that they've been working on, but it was almost under the radar a little bit. And especially here in the Camden County region, more of the the western side of the state, they weren't really necessarily aware of what was going on. The middle schools didn't have direction. The high schools didn't have direction. They didn't know what to aspire to or how to implement an esports program. So we saw that void and just owned it. We said, let's address it. Let's fill this void. Let's be a local leader. Let's be a local resource point for the high schools to work with, for the middle schools to work with, so that really that vertical alignment that I mentioned before can start as early as 5th, 6th, 7th grade, continue into the high school, continue into curricular exploration, and then ultimately translate into a Camden County College opportunity, or maybe they go directly right to Stockton University. It really gives them those options as early as middle school as we go forward. And that has had a direct impact into how parents and others in the region have seen esports and have maybe changed their mindsets a little bit too. So it's really about supporting the industry as a whole, but we're starting much more on an earlier standpoint and making sure that we build in the legitimacy behind it, the job opportunities behind it. And that's really what's changed the opinions of many parents locally in the area.
Yeah, that was really demonstrated when I was at the New Jersey chapter kickoff. Mm-hmm. That was a student-run event. It was really well done. Mm-hmm. It had, government, the local support of the governance and the college support, obviously, the businesses, but what a collaboration. I mean, kudos to Jersey, and starting right there in the middle schools. What kind of career paths are you guys seeing? What do you see? You started real early, and you're probably seeing a lot of your graduates in the marketplace now.
Well, we've actually, so our program just started this semester. So we're actually in the very first runs. We actually have our cohort. But what we've heard kind of anecdotally from them is that many of them want to stay on this path of esports production. Yeah. So it looks like many of them are going to stay in this industry as we move forward. So really, it's about building out these opportunities with local businesses, local providers, many of which will be connected to digital marketing, production, be it film and television, some kind of event management or support. We're seeing them want to stay in this industry as a whole. But again, I think that speaks a lot to where the industry is at right now. There was a void there as well, too, that, again, you had a lot of investment. You had a lot of money coming into the esports industry, but there really wasn't the let's say, the degree and the collegiate experience that could support that as we go forward. It's something we're trying to address so that now students coming through our esports production degree are specifically skilled to support this industry as we go forward. They'll have those skills, but again, they could also transfer them to other areas. Again, they could work for any kind of marketing company that does social media, does content creation in some way. Or again, pivoted over to any kind of business degree that's really out there. It really is about providing those opportunities for them to grow, to stay in the industry itself, and to maybe kind of stay locally with the development that's happening from an esports perspective here in South Jersey, or to transfer it over to another area and use those skills and build upon them, really in the career area that they ultimately choose.
Amazing. Amazing. So when you say cohort, do you have a couple of different tracks, and do the students stay together through their specific track?
They do and they don't, and the reason, so the cohort's not designed for them to stay together. I think, and especially at a community college, it's very difficult for that to happen. Again, it's not impossible, but I think our students, they've bonded together, and I think they're staying together because they've built that relationship. I think one being kind of our first cohort going in, there's that sense of camaraderie that in that sense, but also they share the same passion. They share the same interests. Some compete intercollegiately with us as well too. So you have those opportunities. So not only in the classroom together, but they're on the athletic field together. Playing Rocket League or Valorant,
Right.
whatever it may be. So it really becomes those opportunities to kind of build and share those experiences together. And again, but the idea is we didn't build it as a cohort specifically. It was, again, explore this degree, think about it, consider it. If you're a part-time student, that works. If you're a full-time student, that works as well too. And that really speaks to the community college mission. It's
Yes.
about giving entry points and access points as we go forward.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And just to kind of to add on to that, Dave, I love what you were kind of alluding to there, which is the importance of just community, the importance of culture within the program, within the organization that we've built here, because we do have, we have these individuals who have begun the esports production degree, who have become a part of the community, and so you have individuals who are competing. You have individuals who are more academically focused, and then obviously there's crossover between the two, and that suddenly they're building this vibrant community. And Dave, I didn't mention this to you. What I thought was really, really cool, it's organically growing here, where just a quick anecdote, over the break, I saw a bunch of the students starting to communicate, and they were putting events on the calendar themselves. They were all going to go karting, a week ago and things like that. And that's individuals in the academic degree, individuals that are just competing. And so the importance of culture and community cannot be understated.
Yeah. And also the structure, it sounds like you guys set up for them to have, those, the parameters to help them. But, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, like training wheels.
Yeah, it's structure. I think that's what it is. It's structure and legitimacy. Again, we didn't convert just a computer lab down the hallway. It was massive investment. It was brand. It was human resource from day one. We brought Dwyer in as esports director before we had any component or as kind of any kind of semblance of an esports activity at the college. We knew that the local community, the high schools and the middle schools, would not buy in unless we took it seriously.
Yeah.
We needed to establish ourselves from day one, and that's really kind of why I think a lot of these students believe in it, and latch on to the opportunity. And again, just seeing their smiles, again, watching them in the arena, when they lose, or and again, they're consoling each other, and when they win, they're hugging each other. I mean, it's real passion. It's real relationship. And I think ultimately it's how the college decided to invest in this, to give them that structure to build around. Again, I've been here at the college for upwards of 20 years. I have not seen anything that has created this level of student engagement in my time here at the college. It really speaks to so many different levels and so many different areas of passion. And again, I know we're just scratching the surface on this. So again, what we're doing today, we're adapting, we're assessing, and we're implementing new structures for next semester and beyond. Again, so it's not just this static approach. It really is something that we're making changes. We're making positive assessments and really putting those new policies and procedures in place so that the environment, that the experience is all the better next semester and that beyond.
And the structure is hugely important, Megan, to your point. I mean, I know we've touched upon it a few times, but that correlation, that parallel to traditional sports. If you think about how a baseball team is run at a college, it's done the exact same way in terms of its tryouts. Not everyone makes the team. I think that's important too. We have an intramural focus, a community focus, and so everyone can get involved with the community, and that's fantastic. But I think it's also important to make sure that, again, we're treating it seriously, with that structure in place. So we can't be a club. I think that's the kind of the key here, is that it can't simply just be a club, because listen, students will treat it like a club. If you want them to treat it like an actual, again, an athletic endeavor, an academic endeavor, it needs to kind of blossom beyond just that club mentality.
And again, just to speak to that, and again, this is probably a really good example of how well it's been embraced. Part of our branding, again, was an esports jersey. Again, I know a lot of schools have them, a lot of them don't. But I think the telling component of that is that our executive team, our vice presidents, our president, board members, and even our local congressman, they wanted a jersey. And that's the difference. It's not that we gave them a jersey. Again, that's easy to do. They genuinely wanted one. And I think that's how much this college has embraced this notion of esports and its potential impact. They wear them proudly. They don't wear them because they have to go to an event. Just walking around campus, I'll see people walking around in those jerseys. That speaks to something. It speaks to passion. It speaks to support. It speaks to really understanding why we're doing it here at the college.
And I can't help but to say, so what I heard, Dave, is I've been here 20 years. I've never seen anything like that. I say the same thing. All I've ever done is association management. I've never done any, this is all I've ever done. I've never seen anything like this. And there's something beyond the words I have when you experience esports. There is a passion and a community, and there's something that is just so hard to express, but it's extremely gratifying when people get it and say, I want a jersey. I want to support. And it's, to me, I walk into an event and I see people in esports trade association jerseys, and I can't believe it, Sean, because as long as I've done this, as many associations I've represented, it's never happened.
Yeah.
Right.
People want our merch. And I'm like, well, we have to get creative here because nobody's ever you don't see a lot of people in a American Dental Association hat. You just don't. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And I do. And it's wild.
And listen, I think, and I've said this to Dave as well, there's something cool about gaming and esports. And I think that, and a community aspect that it grows from that as well. And, I think that we kind of live in a mentality, society sometimes, where if it's cool or if it's fun, then it must not be good, or somehow it's not productive. And I think in gaming and esports, we need to embrace that, right? Yeah. Let's embrace the fact that it's fun, that it's cool, because we're still leading to something productive.
And traditional sports gave us the roadmap. Again, this is not something that we're creating from scratch here. Again, everything that we've done here at the college, but again, we've seen in the industry, can lean on what those success areas of traditional sports has created. Again, it goes back to merch. It goes back to structure. It goes back to league play. It goes back to audience and following and attending events and whatnot. I know one of the things we talked about, Megan, prior to is we're now in the process of starting. It's called the South Jersey Collegiate Esports Cup here in South Jersey, and the idea is we're bringing 6 local colleges into an in-person esports cup style league in the spring semester. So that will be Camden County College, Rutgers, Camden, Stockton, and a number of others. And the idea is we're going to go to a home and away kind of environment. We'll go and compete in a little tournament at one location, then we'll all go to another, and then we'll all go to another, all based in conferences. And the 2 conferences will, depending on the results of that, will meet at a final, to be determined later in May. But the roadmap was traditional sports. My daughters play soccer. Again, the idea, this idea completely came from a soccer cup. The idea is you play a couple of teams, you earn the points, you then advance to a semi and then a final. And the idea was, let's just apply that concept to our esports league here. And this builds that in-person opportunity. Again, we're very unique here in South Jersey. We happen to be proximate to these other colleges. So travel is not an issue. Again, it's a 15-minute car ride. It's a 30-minute car ride. So we're able to implement that in-person activity or that in-person component to these activities. And it's going to speak to really the support. So now, not only are these schools going to compete with each other, we're also inviting the high schools to attend, to participate, and also support the production elements of it. So it really speaks to really that experiential opportunity for students exploring this notion of esports production, but also witnessing in-person live esports competition, two colleges battling each other. And again, the roadmap is traditional sports. There's no difference between the two. It's just applying that best practice into the esports genre.
And that's what you said, best practice.
Yeah.
That's it. And everything you've ever done brought you to here right now to be doing this best practice to show the rest of the nation that might need to see it and to collaborate. Right, Sean? Is that what you were just about to say?
Yeah, no, exactly right. And I just to reiterate something again. So I've worked in with esports. Coaches. We have a coaching staff here now. So I'm not doing as much coaching, but the reality is across the country. And you just spoke to it, Megan. I think there's even possibly a temptation for individuals to almost take too much advantage of the fact that esports can be virtual and they're pulling away from the in-person, pulling away from it because it's easy. But Dave just pointed to it. The model is traditional sports. Traditional sports is all in person. There's a reason it's successful that way. So we're pushing more in person. Again, just another best practice that's just, we think is important.
Yeah, and it's about building those experiences. That's really it. Again, we want those high schoolers to come in and see the wows, to see the drama, to see the wins, the losses, and all of that goes into it. And again, we're unique. Again, we happen to be in an area of the country where these institutions are close to each other, but we're going to maximize that opportunity. But what I like about this more is that this has been a collaborative process. So this is not Camden County College doing this. This is Camden County College working together with the other 6 institutions or 5 institutions, in addition, working together with Horizon AVL to do the production kind of structure behind it, to help those students have a great production experience, working or putting together workshops and other opportunities to explore careers while they're on site. And then the league itself is being hosted by Garden State Esports, which handles the high school league component here in the state of New Jersey for most of the schools here. Again, the idea is working together so that we all benefit. And I've said this a lot. This pond, this lake, it's really more like an ocean. There's so many fish in the sea, so to speak, of potential students, potential I guess high school students, middle school students that may want to get into this. Camden County College doesn't need to own the sector. It's not that. It's sharing the wealth, because the growth of esports here in Southern New Jersey is the ultimate goal. Whether or not they choose Camden County College, or if they choose Atlantic Cape College, or if they choose Rutgers or Stockton or Rowan, that part doesn't matter. We want to give them that opportunity. We want to give them that support mechanism, because there's so many gamers locally that we know that nobody's going to be left out of this. The support mechanism right now is really building it out from an infrastructure standpoint. Give them opportunities and let those students ultimately decide.
Well, the county is very fortunate to have both of you. I'll say that. And it's been just such a pleasure to get to know you, Dave, and to be on a panel with you. I can't speak highly enough about the collaboration that's going on with Jersey from A to Z. This show is also just about being connected and getting connected. So before we go, I'd love to learn a little bit about you, Dave, personally, why you got here, and Sean, the same, how you got here. And I can say, and I'm sure the Junior College Association or Community College Association is just so excited to have y'all as leaders in this space.
Mhm.
But so Dave, tell us a little bit about how you go from being a major in linguistics to, running one of the.
It was not a planned path, but that's what a community college speaks to. So
It
again, I'm
does.
not a product of a community college, absolutely not. But my path to my career where I'm at right now speaks to what a community college student needs to do, and a lot of that's exploration. So my background is, again, I was a faculty member. I taught English as a second language as a full-time professor here at the college for a number of years. I transitioned over to administration about 15 years into it. The reason I did that is because I loved the impact that I could have in the classroom. I knew I could change lives of
Yeah.
15, 20 students. And the reality of it is that transitioning over to administration gave me the opportunity to have a larger impact. And so when I did that, that's always been my motivation every day, saying, how can I change somebody's life in the better with every decision that I make? And then when I looked at some of these opportunities, esports specifically, again, it was just a void. And it was a void that spoke to some of my passion. So again, I'm not a professional gamer anyway. I casually gamed over the years. I played, I've told Sean this a number of times. I played Madden, way too much in my time in college. Played NHL 93 and 94 over the years. And I bonded socially with it. So when I looked at this kind of sector as part of a college investment standpoint, I knew the social connectedness opportunities that existed with it. I experienced them myself. And seeing how the venture capitalists and other entities were investing into this sector, I knew there was opportunity to be had. I felt like the sector itself didn't know where it needed to go as of yet. So my goal and our goal was to give the sector the structure it needed from a collegiate standpoint, from a degree standpoint, making sure that students were in a position to embrace their passion of gaming, and then walk out with a potential career or job, or more importantly, a skill set that could be applied to a variety of different jobs. So that's been my motivation. That's how I kind of found my way here. Sean will tell you, we just had a retro tournament night the other day, and again, he saw my Mortal Kombat skills. He saw my
I was pleasantly surprised by the Mortal Kombat. I was.
I try not to share it too often, but when it needs to come out, it comes out. But that's how I found my way here. And again, I love it. It's so much fun to be a part of it. And I know, Sean, you mentioned this notion of being cool. I think what we're doing here is by putting legitimacy behind this, by putting brand behind it, by putting administrative support and executive support behind it, it makes it cool. Or more importantly, it makes it not cool. If that's the kind of the best way to put it. We're making it real. We're making it something that people can say, wow, I do want to be a part of that. Or, oh, I don't have to hide that I'm a gamer. I don't have to be embarrassed to be a gamer. I can embrace this as we go forward. And this is some of the partnerships that we're looking at as well, too. Again, we're not trying to build it alone. We build it in conjunction with other institutions. Stockton has been a great partner with us since day one, and we're going to continue to build upon that. We're working now with the Game Hers to work out opportunities to build in those that identify femme into this, and make sure that they're supported and that they have opportunities to progress and proceed. The idea is to look at this and say, how can we make the impact opportunity for each and every person that might get touched by esports and Cougar Esports specifically? So that's kind of why I'm here. I'm here to put the legitimacy behind it. Again, companies can throw millions and billions of dollars behind it, but if you don't have that infrastructure or that foundation standpoint, it's not going to succeed. And that's where we wanted to kind of fill that gap and put that structure behind it. And Sean's my gamer. He's my resident gamer here. So
it's true. It's true. Now, listen, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised by the Mortal Kombat. Your Tekken could use some work, but we can work on that. Megan, would you like me to kind of dive a little bit into my background?
Yes.
So I kind of come from the opposite spectrum from Dave, whereas Dave was in the collegiate sphere and then kind of found esports and gaming. Gaming and esports was a big part of my life, and then I found, was able to bring my expertise into the collegiate sphere. And I'm really a case study for the positive outcomes, the positive attributes of gaming and esports. So just give you a little bit of background. So I got my degree from Drexel, business degree, specifically with an MIS focus. And a lot of people always ask me, how could one take that degree and then parlay it into being an esports director? Well, it was a long road. It's a long road, as
Yes.
Dave has heard the story many times. Ultimately, right out of college, I was working in supply chain, right? And it wasn't something that really excited me ultimately. It was a job that was like, okay, listen, it was a good job. But I was like, I gotta love what I do. I'm fueled by passion. And I knew I was passionate about gaming. And I used it was a way to connect for me with my two older brothers. We played Sega Genesis growing up, and so it was a part of my bedrock, part of my foundation.
Yeah.
I had a lot of virtual and in-person gaming friends from again, both locally but also across the country. So gaming was just kind of part of me, and I was like, well, how do I take my background in business and apply it to gaming? And there was a bunch of I came up with a couple of different answers before
Okay.
working on management and coaching became the answer. But ultimately, I thought, okay, yes, that really is the right match, because of course I was also passionate about traditional sports, so this just felt like the marriage of all three. And so I got into esports coaching and management. So I had run an amateur, semi-pro League of Legends team. We got to the top 8 in the North American Challenger Series qualifier. So we were very serious. And I took everything I knew from my business background and everything I knew, about traditional sports, and applied it directly. So I'm doing the exact same thing I've been doing now for 8 years within this sphere. And then I just saw I had a bunch of the players I worked with were now getting college degrees, and they were getting scholarships, half rides, full rides to play League of Legends for colleges. And I thought, well, wait a minute, this is interesting. This is perhaps where, and I know that I can be a positive influence in these individuals' lives. And then I found a head coaching position at Immaculata University in Malvern, Pennsylvania, where again it was head coach of esports, was within their athletics program, and then ultimately communicated with Dave, connected with Camden County College as this became a reality. And I knew that this was the position I absolutely wanted to be a part of, a community I wanted to be a part of. Because I knew that they took it seriously. And I think that was what attracted me the most, and how I found myself here. So again, we come from two kind of different spheres, which is why I think Dave and I work really well together. But, listen, he's no slouch in Mortal Kombat, as you mentioned, but I am the gamer here. I've played, the one thing that I also appreciate is that, I'm, as I always tell my players, our students, that I'm not a suit, quote unquote. I'm a gamer. I play all of these games, and which I think is important, that you have somebody on staff that at least is kind of in tune with that culture as well. So it's good that we do a very good job of balancing it here.
Well, that's really wonderful. Thank you both for sharing, so much about your day job and how you got here. And, what I'm really hearing is just how flexible, community colleges can be, and how open you both are in the support in the program. And I remember in the day when I would just take a class for fun, because I had such a great career, and I still do. Actually, I'm still a student. I'm at Loyola currently. Just because school was just such a good experience for me. But I remember in the day, and I just said this to someone recently, they retired and they said, what should I do now? I said, go look at the community college, review every class, and see what jumps out.
Yeah.
Something will. So thank you, both for having the passion and providing this bedrock.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that. I would jump on just one quick thing you just said there, Megan.
Take your time.
This speaks to so one of the things that we've been able to do for Cougar Esports is we were named through the state the New Jersey Pathways Project for esports production and content creation. And really the deliverables of that speak to exactly what you just said. One of the things that we want to do is define out for other institutions in the state of New Jersey and ultimately nationally is prior learning opportunities. How does your prior experience map into a potential esports degree?
Right.
What kind of professional credentialing can exist that maybe could apply to the film and television industry?
Yes.
How does that intersect with esports production itself? So and that's really where we're growing into. So it's not just about it being a traditional degree, but it's really looking at how do we bring students back that maybe are looking for a career change or are looking for a specific credential to move their current career to another level, maybe for a promotion or a raise in some way, shape, or form, or maybe it's just to maintain some specific kind of certification. The idea is that this notion of what we've built can be expanded upon, and it really can allow for students that are not just looking at it being a first-time full-time student, but really the non-traditional students that may be coming in and looking for a career change. Maybe they've been laid off and they're looking for another opportunity, and maybe they've played games in the past. They didn't know that this could even exist, and trying to work with them to identify the skills that they've already had and make sure that they're on a path really of least resistance, and that can lead them to a potential degree, again, be it through a community college or a four-year institution as we go forward. Our goal is to set them up for career success, skills, and really connecting them with the local businesses and industries to make sure that they have those opportunities to succeed personally.
And boy, we're so grateful that you're a member of the organization here and that you're sharing this wonderful opportunity, especially if you look at the cost for the degree. You can literally move to Jersey.
Yeah.
And you can borrow your what it costs to live and get a starter degree.
Yeah.
And get placed properly, like with guidance. And I think that awareness hasn't really, being that I'm the product of, a community college, and I say that very humbly, but I did so much because it was their help getting me in my strength lane to thrive, to running to work. I'm just finishing a degree. I have so many from Loyola this year, and I just don't know what's next, but there will be something next.
Well, you should consider our esports production degree.
I'll tell you, what I love about events is the heart. There's a time, and this happens, and I really hope I'm going to go on court for a second here. If you guys don't mind, I'm getting off the bench. There is a time during Esports Next and every event I've ever done for decades now, where tears fill my eyes and I'm so overjoyed by what has happened and what everyone did to make it happen. And there's just that point in time, and it's like, okay, here it is. And I know it's coming, and I move away and I take it in, and it is the most joyful moment of my year because it takes so much to do for so many, that event production is just it's something that again is so hard to put word to, and so fulfilling. Yes, I could speak to that. Really putting your heart in the matter of your event in the center, taking yourself out of it and being of service and being in that space of your gift. My gift is events, and I'll invite you to Esports Next. I will promise you, and I go on record all the time, you will never go to an event like this. It's an experience, and it's so close to my heart. But I'm in my strength lane, like y'all said. You guys have 6 colleges. You're fortunate. Well, you had to do that because that's what you had. You got to do what you've got, and you got to figure it out because it's all you have.
Exactly it. And the good news is that they're willing to talk to. Again, it's about it's the listening, it's the suggestion sharing. Again, these other institutions, the organizations that we work with, They've been so open-minded. They've been so collaborative and so willing to try on some of these new ideas and concepts. And again, the goal is to support the industry. It's to try things and to go back and use some of those best practices that we've seen in the other industries in traditional sports to see what can apply for this. And we're thrilled that we've had the successes that we've had through as a result of this. And we're looking to build upon that as we go forward. So again, a credit to all of them that kind of followed along and listened to us as we've, kind of pitched some of these ideas. But again, we're just starting and we're excited to kind of really build this foundation out. So other areas of the countries, other industries, and again, those that are connected specifically with the association can take advantage of the things that we're building upon.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you aboard, especially maybe I see a LinkedIn Live. Many schools here in Chicago don't have an arena.
Yeah.
I'd love to, talk more next time about the path to getting an arena. Even the
A lot of conversations you have to have. It's a selling point. But what we're hoping, and I truly mean this, is by showing the success that we've had here at Camden County College, that other schools can apply the same model.
That's right.
That if by investing in academics, by investing in skill development and not gaming and not tournaments and not trying to build revenue streams on, X particular event, it's about investing in the students and investing in their future. That's really the path to implementation into that arena. That's why, as Sean mentioned earlier, it's at capacity. It's not at capacity because we're paying people or people are paying to come into it.
Right.
They are taking classes that are interconnected with esports. If it's history of esports, if it's multimedia production, all of these courses speak to this degree in some way. And it's the academic component is what got us to that arena. So absolutely would love to share the success on that in the past. Again, it was a windy road, and I assure you, it was a lot of conversations, a lot of convincing. But I'm hoping what we did here at the college here is going to give really maps and an opportunity for other institutions to implement the same thing that we've done here.
Well, there's a lot more to come on that. I think we're out of time, but I would definitely love to have you guys for a LinkedIn Live.
Absolutely.
And on Esports Next show, which is coming out, and maybe get into the magazine and hopefully have you maybe at the conference to share this collaboration, and what y'all have pioneered over there is not overlooked by us. That's for sure.
That's great. Again, our passion is real. Again, Sean and I, we joke about it all the time. We have great jobs because one, we like what we do, but more importantly, we're changing the community, and that's the most important thing. We're changing it in a positive way. We're giving opportunity that didn't exist before, and really. And we're really excited to support that. So anything that we can share, we can be a resource for any of the members that are out there. They can absolutely reach out to us. We can, dig deeper as much as possible. We'd love to be at any event that you have.
That's amazing. And for those of you that are listening, they are very easy to find. David, how would you like to share where people can reach out to you to learn a little bit more about your program?
So they can contact me directly on LinkedIn. And again, I can, Megan, I don't know if you can share that through the chat or somehow or another, we can find a way to share that out. They could just search me, David Bruno. And again, I'm connected to Camden County College here, but they could also follow us on our social media handle at the college itself through our esports, and that's Camden CC Esports. So that's on Twitter/X, Instagram, Twitch, etc. So all of those media handles speak back to or point back to us in some way. Just reach out. You can DM us in some way.
That's right.
We'll get back to you. But again, we're excited to share. That's the most important thing.
I hear that. And Coach, we presume we'll find you on Discord.
Yes.
We won't have to look very far.
Well, it's feel free to add me on Discord. Have a lot of great conversations on there. So it's just my name, Sean Dwyer, all lowercase, one word, real easy. So feel free to add me, and I'd be happy to have conversations. Like I said, I've had fantastic ones. You just email me directly at sdwyer@camdencc.edu. And also make sure that my LinkedIn's provided for anyone else. Let's connect there as well.
Thank you guys. This has been a great show. Thank you for all you do, and go Cougar Esports.
Love it. Thank you,
Well,
Megan.
thank you so much for having us.
again. And thank you for having the conversation again. It's about making sure that really the community is aware of the things that we're doing and how we can just let other communities take advantage of it. So we're excited to share.
Absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.